Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor as usual to be out here in nature and greeting you, bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look to no other place but to look inwardly to discover that your identity is your divinity. That's the reason why I always bring the message of self-realization to you, encouraging you to believe in yourself and to embrace yourself. Always bring to you positive self-image psychology. And that is why I'm always sharing the scripture with you and teaching you to understand the Bible psychologically. Thus, the reason why I want to speak to you concerning the science of getting rich. And there's a book written called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, but I'm going to take it from a different angle and teach you the science of getting rich from the Bible. But before I do that, I have to explain to you the basis of my teaching, especially if this is the first time that you are listening to me. Now, the basis of my teaching is that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. For the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history, and it was written symbolically. Also, I teach that the Bible have no reference to anyone that existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that took place on earth thousands of years ago. From Genesis 1 to Revelation 22, it all deals with the human psyche. It's one great psychological drama, and the Bible is your spiritual autobiography. So it is along that line I'll be bringing this message of self-realization to you, teaching you the science of how to get rich, or how to come into riches, how to come into abundance, how to come in to having a life where you are in a place of affluence. Okay, and I do not know of anyone who sees virtue in poverty, because poverty is a state of mind as well as wealth and riches. It's a state of mind also. And everyone would rather choose to be rich than to be poor. Also, the Bible promises us that we, above all things, that we should prosper and be in good health as our soul prospers. Now, what I want to do, I want to go into the Bible. I want to read for you from 1 Kings chapter 3. I want to encourage you to get your book or your paper and your pen and take notes, because I'm going to teach you the science of getting rich by first of all letting you know that the Bible is a book of mind science. And that is why this Bible teaches you the science of getting rich. But very few understand that the Bible is their spiritual autobiography. Therefore, they've been looking outwardly all of their life instead of looking inwardly. But I want to take you on a journey. I want to take you on the journey of the mind. And I want you to put the pieces of the greatest puzzle together. And this puzzle is called life. That's why we're going to look into the book of life. So I'm going to go to 1 Kings chapter 3. I'm going to read from verses 5 to 15 for you. Okay? Now I'm going to locate the Bible here on my phone. So just bear with me a little, because I haven't gotten the scripture as yet. So my phone is loading. And I want to open this very important story to you and to let you know that the ancients, when they were putting the book together, that they were putting it in this parabolic and symbolic way, but it was all referring to your imagination, which is the creator in each and every one, because God is your own human imagination, and that has been the secret down throughout the ages, and it's a secret of the ancient, and I'm very happy to be sharing it with you, knowing that as long as you put what I'm teaching you to work, that you will never regret that you would have listened to me and put what I am saying to work in your life. Okay, I'm still waiting on the phone to load. I don't know how come it's so slow. Okay, but I'm waiting on it to load to read for you this very important scripture. I think my phone is so loaded. There's so much messages on my phone here right now. Let me see. Wow, it's taking so long. It's taking so long. Just bear with me a little. Man, what's up with this phone right now? Okay, let me see. Let me go at it again. Here's my Bible. Okay. Yes, let me just keep speaking as the phone keep loading. Now, what I really want to talk to you about, as my phone keep loading, so I can go to the scripture and break it down for you, it have to do with Solomon and how Solomon was told to ask whatever is his desire. And I'm gonna break it down to you in the psychological way, so you would understand it and you would be able to apply what I'm going to teach you in your life. Okay? Now it's loaded. I'm just turning to the books and where I can get 1 Kings for you. Yeah, so many preachers would have preached about this story of the richest man, and they were interpreting this story of the richest man in a way as if the Bible is literal and as if the Bible is secular history. But I'm gonna explain it to you in a way that's gonna really, really help you to understand the science, okay, of getting rich, and how the Bible is actually a book of mind science. Now, I have the scripture here now, 1 Kings chapter 3. So I hope by now you have your pen and you have your paper and you start taking notes. Okay? Now it says in Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask, what shall I, or ask what I shall give thee. Okay, so let me just read it over. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask what I shall give thee. Now, Gibeon is speaking of a place of exaltation. It is speaking of the higher mind, the higher place of consciousness. It is speaking of you dwelling in a psychological level whereby you are open-minded and you're seeing things from another angle. You're very much open to your higher self. So it's a place where the mind been lifted to another level, or to a higher place of vibration where you're vibrating. So that's what Gibeon really means. And at this place is where you would be more in touch with yourself, your higher self, your inner self, your true essence. And it says that the Lord appeared to Solomon, which means it's teaching you of an unveiling of self to you, an understanding of self. So self-knowledge is being made more clear when you are in this state of mind, a state of consciousness. And Solomon is S-O-L, first of all, which is sol, light, sun, soul. Soul, sun, light is speaking of the same thing. So Solomon is speaking of the light in man, or the sun in man, the sun man as in the S-U-N, or the light in man. That's what he's speaking about. And he said that Solomon was the son of David. David represents humanity. So you are here in this life having a human experience, but your true essence is light. Your true essence comes from the sun man. Okay? And it says that you appeared to him in a dream by night. Now, when you understand what takes place in the night as you go to bed, you would realize how you're changing from one dimension into another dimension, and how your instructions are being sealed. And that is why you have to go to bed more consciously, and you have to go to bed with your intentions. And Job 33 verses 14 to 16 tells you how you should go to bed. So you need to take this scripture, write it down also, of Job 33, 14 to 16, and dovetail it with this verse right here, teaching you that when you slumber upon the bed in a dream, that God will reveal himself to you, because God is your own human imagination, which is the creator in man. And that is why you have to go in to sleep in a state whereby you have your intention, your goals, your dream, that which you want to desire. Because as I would have said to you, everything you read in here in the Bible, it's all about the mind. It's mind science. Okay? And it says here that in the dream, let me also say that your experience is a dream. The dream of life. It is God dreaming that he's you having this human experience, because we are all infinite awareness, experiencing itself. Everything you see on the outside is actually you being pushed out. So he says here that the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask what I shall give thee. It is saying to you that in your experience in this life, that you must ask for that which you desire. Which means you have to have a goal. You have to have a dream in life. There must be something that you want to accomplish that would be able to benefit humanity. Something that would bring value. Something that would help you to be of service. So each and every one of us in this life, we are to be fruitful. We are to be creators. We are to be deliberate creators. But we have to understand that we are supposed to have a goal or a dream in life. Something that we love. Something that we're good at. And we have to utilize it. Because each and every one of us, we were given a talent. And you have to use that talent and multiply. So there's supposed to be multiplication and expansion in our life. And that can only be acquired when we use our mind, when we exercise our mind. And for us to exercise our mind, it means we have to have the right kind of thinking and the right understanding of how the mind works. Therefore, we have to dwell in a mindset of expansion. Okay? Now, it says also in verse 6, and Solomon said, thou hast shewed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he has walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. And remember what I've said to you before, that David, being the father of Solomon, is teaching you that you are the son of humanity, having a human experience, because David represents humanity. And God in man, which is your true identity, your real divinity, has always been good to humanity in general, which is having the human experience. As long as you walk according to the laws of thoughts. Because when it says here that he walked before thee in truth, is having a right understanding of who you are, because you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the truth is that we can create our reality consciously if we understand that it is our own thoughts that is creating our reality, and that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So he says that he walked in truth and in righteousness. Now, righteousness is not something you acquire. Righteousness is something you tune into. It is a realization. So when you come into a certain kind of realization, it is known as righteousness or uprightness of heart. It's a way of thinking. It is vibrating on the right frequency, knowing that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And thou hast kept him for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son. All of us are that son who has been given. All of us are that begotten son. Because out of millions of sperm, we were chosen to have this experience, to sit on his throne, to sit on the throne of being in this existence and being given dominion and power as long as we seek first the kingdom. Because whenever we seek first the kingdom and we discover the kingdom, we will discover the power to create, the secret to create. So it's a gift. This life that you're living, it's a gift. And the gift that has been given, it is God who have given himself by descending into generation to have the experience as you, and must ascend also in regeneration. Now I'm going to verse 7 where it says, and now, O Lord, my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. Let me just read that back over. And now, O Lord, my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. Now, Solomon, as I said before, is the light in man, is a son in man, as in the S-U-N, it means son man. And it is the power that is in you that shall rule on the throne. It is the power that is in you that will construct the temple, whereby the glory of God will be seen, because this is the temple. And when you have the right thinking or the right state of mind, then you will behold the glory. And you will come to realize that you're here to serve. That's why it says here, and now, O Lord, my God. This is one who have come into a place of recognizing his I amness. My God is speaking of self-knowledge, self-revelation, knowing who you are, and come to realize that you're here to serve. That's why he says, thou hast made thy servant. We are in this body, and this body is a servant to the mind. And when we have a thought, the thought is invisible. You can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it. But when we act upon that thought or that invisible thing that we cannot see, that invisible substance, it would manifest. But there's a lot of gestation, so you have to wait for a certain time and a certain season. Because everything has a certain time and a certain season. An egg might hatch in 21 days, but an animal like a sheep or a goat, they might be born in months, say 3 months. A horse might be born in 12 months, or a donkey. And we have in this human experience, we're born in 9 months. So everything have a duration period. That is why when we have a desire, when we have a goal, and we set out to accomplish that goal, to live a life of fullness, that we have to be patient. And we are told not to be anxious for anything. You got to be patient, my brothers and my sisters. So here he says that thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, instead of this outer man, which is the human side of man, which is matter, whereby we are having the human experience. Instead of making this king, you have to allow your imagination, which is the creator in man, to rule and reign as king. And that is why you got to look to self. That's why you got to believe in yourself. That's why you have to embrace yourself, so you will come into the science of getting rich, the science of multiplication, the science of compensation. So he says here, and I am, and remember the name of God is I am. I am but a little child. Now whatever you instruct a little child be obedient, because a little child is existing in the realm of innocence. And the subconscious mind is impartial. Whatever you impress on the subconscious mind, that is what the subconscious mind will receive and give back to you. And how you feel about yourself, the perception you hold about yourself, would mean what your subconscious mind, what kind of message your subconscious mind would receive from you. And the subconscious mind receives messages in the form of feelings, emotion, because emotion is energy in motion. I'm gonna wait until this vehicle pass with the music, okay? Yeah. So as I was saying, emotion is energy in motion. And that is why you have to guard your feelings and guard your mind. Whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, if there be any virtue, you have to think on these things. So he says here, and I am but a little child and know not how to go about or come in. It is only when you realize that you need guidance and leadership, because you do not know what to do. You do not know the going out or the coming in. It's when you realize that true enlightenment is recognizing or realizing how much you do not know. And you're willing to submit yourself. You're willing to say, I'm just a child. When a child has been born into this world, a child is born in amnesia, a state of forgetfulness. So it's a state where you do not know about you going out and you are coming in. And until you reach to that place that you recognize and realize that you've been born in amnesia, and everything that you think that you really know, it was actually taught to you and you would have never really questioned it. Then you would realize you have never think for yourself. You have never really acquired true wisdom. You never really acquired true understanding of really who you are. And that is why I'm bringing this kind of message to you. This message of self-realization, pointing you to always look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity, and to understand that the Bible is a book of mind science, and it gives you the science of how to get rich by teaching you that everything was false thought, everything was false mental, everything was false psychological. And that is why I always encourage you that this Bible, when you read it, you have to interpret it psychologically. You can never interpret it as literal or secular history, because if you do that, it will keep you in mediocrity. It will keep you in poverty. It will keep you in limitation. So I'm opening up to you the secret of the science of getting rich. So all of these books that people have been reading, that have been written by many different writers, when you really check the origin of where they get this kind of wisdom from to write those kind of books, those inspiring books, those self-help books, it will point you back to the Bible, as long as you have the right understanding that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. And that is why I am bringing this kind of message to you, and I am entitling it such as The Science of Getting Rich, and taking it from a different angle to take you into the mind of Wallace Wattles and to show you what these men would have discovered over the years. The inner standing of the Bible. Some call it esoteric understanding, some call it metaphysical understanding. But I'm saying the inner standing of the Bible. So let me go on to verses 8, because I want to go right up to 15. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen. You are in the midst of around 7 to 8 billion people on the face of this earth, and each and every one is actually yourself pushed out. And you have to be of service. You have to find your place. Because though we are one universal consciousness, though we are one collective, we all have different fingerprints, because we all came here for a specific purpose, and we must discover what is that purpose and fulfill that purpose. Okay, so here it says, and thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. So, my brother and my sisters, though we may look many in the world, as I would have said, about over 7 to 8 billion people, everyone is just self-pushed out. Because there's only one universal consciousness, one awareness. And we are all infinite awareness experiencing itself. And we are to be a service to each other. So each and every time you read here that is saying, thy servant, it is telling you that we are here to serve. And that is why I'm here serving you. So that you would find your purpose, that you would find your calling, that you would discover that the Bible is the book of mind science, and it holds the science of how to get rich. And all you have to do is be obedient to those who have been sent to you. Because if you accept a prophet in the name of a prophet, you're going to get a prophet's reward. For you're told that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word. And how can they hear without a teacher, without a messenger? And how can one bring a message, or how can one teach without he being sent? Which means without he have the experience. Hadn't it been that I would have had a mystical inner experience, I wouldn't have been here teaching you. And I would have had many mystical experiences, but there have been a major mystical experience that was the crown of all my other experiences that bring me into this place, that I'm willing to find the time to bring this message to humanity, to serve, to play my part. I'm saying to you that I'm giving you the keys to play your part also. All you have to do, listen, be patient, be of an open mind, and your intuition will do the rest. Because your real teacher is your intuition. And I'm pointing you into this discovering how important it is to listen to your intuition and to develop that relationship, to come into that union with your intuition, your higher self. So you dwell at Gibeon and come into that dream and hearing your God self speaking to you, having inner conversation, having self-talk, and saying to you to ask whatever you desire. And that you will make the right choice in life. And this is what this whole story of your self-realization or your self-revelation is basically teaching you that when your true essence reveals itself to you, that's how you would approach your higher self in a reverence, in submitting yourself like a child, coming in to true awareness and enlightenment, knowing and realizing how much you really don't know because you were born in amnesia. Okay, so that was just me just putting back everything I would have just said in a nutshell for you so I can go further. So you find yourself with this great multitude that seems to you that cannot be numbered or counted. And if we were to look at our bodies and make up of all the different cells and tissues and so on to become this one collective, and we have nose and eyes and ears, and they need each other to operate as a collective. We have fingers and toes, and they need each other to operate as a collective. So too is all of us. So I am you and you are me. And that is why we have to serve each other and understand the principle of existence, how it's based on giving and receiving. That is why there's a lot of compensation that says, give and it shall come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, shall man give into your bosom. You have to understand that we are here to serve each other. We're here to reach out to each other, to build each other, to embrace each other. That is why there's no greater power than the power of love. The power of fear could never overcome love. And we see in this time, when fear been placed on the people on this earth in the form of a pandemic or a scamdemic, to keep the people in more fear and to put them under economic pressure, because many do not understand that the true economy is their mentality, and the thought is what is creating their reality, and that true wealth is within, and they can print their own money if they understand how to transmute energy and understand it is their thoughts creating their reality, and that they can create their reality consciously. So my brother and my sisters, we are to realize that we are the Solomon, because the sun is in each and every one of us. We are the sun man, because that's what Solomon means. That's why it says that we have a soul, and we have a solar plexus also. So we are to take back our power from those who knew that we all born in amnesia, and they set certain system in place to block us from discovering that we have certain mental faculties that we can use to empower ourselves, like our will and our perception, our intuition, our imagination, our memory, our reasoning. And they use the educational system to block us from knowing are from operating in these faculties. And that is why they use the school system to make us believe that education is the key, when they're using academic education to give you an employee mentality. But greatness is in you, and you can use that greatness that is in you by embracing yourself, by having self-love, and removing all doubt and all fear out of your life. Because when you become fearless, you will become limitless. And that is why, my brother and my sisters, it's very important to have goals and dreams in this life, so that you will have your true Solomon experience. Because everything that the sun shines upon, it brings forth in abundance. It blooms. Everything that the sun shines upon, it comes to life. It's your springtime. And your harvest time. So my brother and my sisters, this message is for you to vibrate in that frequency of wealth and riches. That's why I'm teaching you the science of getting rich. And it all have to do with your mind. So if you're in control of your mind, you'll be in control of your life. If you change your mind, you'll be able to change your life. So you can change your life from poverty to prosperity by changing your mentality, changing your thinking. So having the right mindset is very important if you're going to operate in the science of getting rich. And it says here now that when Solomon, which is actually you, when you ask, is now teaching you now how you should really ask. So there's a scripture that says, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. And that same lesson has been taught right here. Because the message to all of humanity is that you need to ask. And many of you, you have not because you ask not. Because to everyone that asks it, they receive it. And to everyone that knock, it's been open to them. And to everyone that would have seek, they would have found. Are you a seeker? I consider myself to be a seeker, and that is why I vibrate into this place of finding my purpose. Don't just be a believer. Because when you're just a believer, you'll still be kept in your amnesia. But when you become a seeker, you'll go beyond your amnesia and you will awake. You will awake out of the dream. And you'll make the right choices. And you will have the right answer to give to your God self. When He says to you, ask. Which means you will find your true calling, your true purpose. So let me go on to verses now. We say, Solomon now saying, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people. Now it is saying here that you would be the king and the ruler in your field. And when you are the king and the ruler in your field, whatever given field it is, that you will be able to reach out to people, because you will be given an understanding heart. You get to understand others because you understand yourself. You get to understand how life works because you're seeking to know yourself first. That is why you have to love yourself first before you can love others. And you've been instructed to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, thy strength, and thy might, and thy neighbor as thyself. When you realize that the self of man is God, you realize to love God is to love and embrace yourself first. And when you love and embrace yourself first, then you can love and embrace others. And that is why it's so important to have self-love. That's why it's so important to vibrate on the right frequency. That's why it is very important to get rid of all negative thinking and to always think positively, always looking inwardly, always know what you're saying to yourself when you're in self-talk. Say lovely things to yourself. Say things that will uplift you to yourself. Do not go with what the news want you to meditate upon. But find peace and solitude within yourself. Because there's no one else who cares about you more than you can care about yourself. There's no one can love you than how you can love yourself. And that is why it's very important to seek to know who you are first, to ask for wisdom and understanding, to have an understanding heart, so that you know how to deal with others, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? How could you live among so much people in the world with so much different personalities without having the understanding not to judge, not to condemn, not to try to bring shame and guilt like the preachers do from their pulpit, to bring shame, guilt, judgment, condemnation, fear, all these things on you. And when others come around and try to teach you otherwise, you try to bring fear in them, condemnation, you call them names. So religious people call me names. They call me demon. They say I'm a blasphemer. They say so many things. Because I'm not seeing things from their perspective. Because I'm not teaching the Bible like the preachers. So yes, my brother, my sisters, you have to have the right understanding so you can discern. You have to have an understanding that when you think in terms of good and evil, you are eating from the tree of limitation. You're eating from the tree of judgment and condemnation. But when you eat from the tree of life, you understand how life works, and you understand that everyone is on a different frequency. And those who will vibrate with you are those who are on the same frequency. Those who will see eye to eye with you are those who are on the same frequency with you. And so you would be saying, who are my mother, my father, my brother, my sisters? And you say, all those who are vibrating on the same frequency, all those who have the same understanding like me, they are truly my brother, my sister, my mother, and my fathers, and my father. Because you understand what attachment can do, how it can keep you in the humanistic realm, in the realm of limitation, and block you from coming into understand the science of getting rich, or the science of discovering your higher self, the science of coming into true purpose. So as I would have said over and over, that the Bible is a book of mind science, and I want you to get that, and it holds the science of how to get rich if you would only look inwardly. Now I want to move on to verses 10. it says here, and the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. The Lord, as I would have said before, is your I amness. And when you say the right thing to yourself, you have the right self-talk. It will bring happiness, it will bring joy, it will bring peace. You will be pleased with the life that you would live. So when you say that the speech pleased the Lord, it's an inner speech you're speaking about here. Because you understand the light that is in you. And you realize that you're supposed to let your light so shine before men, that they may behold your good works and glorify the God you would have seen within you. So what you ask for, it will bring happiness and joy to you. So that's what it means here when he said, please the Lord, you will be pleased. Because you will be getting results. There's so many people living a life whereby they haven't been getting any results. There's so many people going to jobs that they don't love. There's so many people hurting themselves because they fail to realize the power of thoughts. They fail to realize how the mind works. Let me go on to verses 11. He said, and God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life. Because, you see, showing you here, not, people want to live in self-preservation, and they don't want to die to self. They don't want to die to the ego. Okay? He said, neither has... Let me read over verses 11. He said, and God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, which is wisdom, understanding, okay, and has not asked for thyself long life, neither has asked riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Here this is teaching you that there's no one to change but self. And that we have to get out of the realm of self-preservation. And there are so many people who are seeking riches as in material gains before they seek to know who they are, before they seek to have an understanding heart, before they seek to know how to deal with others, by learning to know how to deal with themselves. So we have to first seek to know thyself before we can ever operate in the science of getting rich, which is true riches. So true riches is not the material gains. But when you find true riches, it will also bring you the material gains with happiness. Because you would have already found happiness. Therefore, you would not have suicidal thoughts while being a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. You will not be struggling with addictions, using recreational drugs and all these things, trying to get a high, because you are already high on life, because you seek first for understanding. You seek first for discernment of heart. All of these things are teaching you the science of getting rich. Because the Bible is the book of mind science. It holds all riches. It holds all wealth. When you understand, it's your spiritual autobiography. Let me go on to verses 12. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart. So the very first thing you have to seek is a wise and understanding heart, which means you have to seek to know who you are, having the right understanding of who you are. Seek to know thyself first, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. Only you alone can know yourself, the way how you would know yourself, and understand yourself, the way how you would understand yourself. Only you alone would have this experience, and no one else would have this experience, because it is your experience. That is why when the Bible speaks of Solomon, and the preachers tell you that Solomon was the wisest man and the richest, it is you when you discover your higher self, your God self, because you seek first the kingdom. And you're told in Matthew 6:33, when you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, that all these things will be added unto you. And I've been teaching you, when you seek to know yourself first, and you discover yourself, you discover also the secret of creation, and you'll be able to create your reality consciously. And it is in the New Testament, it is in the Old Testament, which means all throughout your life, when you're living in the old self, it is there to be discovered. That kingdom is there to be discovered. That righteousness is there to be discovered. That is why righteousness is not something you try to attain, something you discover. And when you discover that, you're coming to your golden age. You're coming to a place of peace and joy and happiness. And that is why I'm bringing to you the science of getting rich. The science of discovering your mind and how it works. The science of discovering how to transmute energy into whatever commodity that you desire, and how you can create consciously. So here it says, behold, let me just read back. Let me just read back a little piece here. But has asked, no, let me go right back. Yeah. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I would have explained that. Verses 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. My brothers, my sisters, when you seek the right thing first, which is to know yourself, riches follow. So when you follow after wisdom, riches will follow you, money will follow you, everything that you so desire, it will follow you. So you do not have to chase money, but the system shape our minds through going to school and receiving an academic education and being taught that we are to get good grades and to get into the rat race, to find a good job that's gonna bring us a lot of money. They had us chasing after money instead of chasing after our identity. And that is why I am here bringing this message to you, because from a little child growing up, my ambition was to know who am I and who is God for myself. And many times, even while I was back in secular Christianity, I never asked for riches. I always asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This scripture has always been a part of my life from a little boy growing up. And now I've come to have the full understanding. And I'm speaking to you based on experience, because all my life, I used to always ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I used to all the time say, God, Solomon asked you for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you give him wealth. And I know, as long as I keep asking for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and I've been given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're going to give me wealth, you're going to give me riches. And I used to all the time say to everyone, I'm not going to leave this earth being poor. I born in a family of poverty, and where everyone have poverty mentality, but I'm not gonna die poor. And I'm so grateful that I have this mentality whereby I realize that I am of service to humanity. I am a servant and I'm here to serve humanity. And it gives me great joy to be here using my ability, using my creativity, reaching out to a soul out there and making them feel happy because what I'm saying is resonating with them. So my brother and my sisters, all the noise here around here, don't let that even distract you in any way. Because the garbage truck have to come and they have to pick up the garbage and all of these things too. Okay? Though I'm in this, lovely quiet place out here in nature, in this beautiful garden. It's a park also. And just bear, with me as I take you on this journey. It is the journey of the mind. And as we put the puzzle together, which is called life. So let me just read over 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor. Riches and honor comes when you fix your mind. Riches and honor comes when you get into the vibration and frequency of discovering your true identity to be your divinity and realize that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography. And that is why I labor morning, noon, and night to bring this message to all of humanity, pointing each and every man to look inwardly. I would not stop. I would not let anything stop me. And I do everything in my power to put everything in the rightful place to get this message across to you in a comfortable way. And that is why I'm putting my studio together. And soon I'll be, in the right kind of atmosphere, as I would say, with less distraction, bring this kind of message to you and going more deeply and teaching you even more deeply of these things. Okay? Now I wanna read on the rest scriptures and come to a close here. I want to read verses 14. He said, and if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. Now, when you understand that David represents humanity, and you understand that this is teaching you that if you walk in the ways of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, like how you would have seen many others who have lived the life of fullness, the life of reaching out to humanity and bringing value to humanity and how they carry themselves, how they behave themselves. And you would pattern from that and walk in their ways. How much it's going to even lengthen your days, because why? You're going to be vibrating in a frequency of joy and happiness. Do you realize that stress kills more people each year than this kind of corona disease or coronavirus pandemic that they have so much people are so fearful of and putting things over their faces? Stress is the #1 killer. And here the Bible is teaching you, when you are stress-free because you have no fear and you're limitless, because you focus on discovering yourself, to know your purpose, to know why you're here and how you may serve, how you will be living a life of joy and peace and happiness. And people around you want to know, how is it that everything you put your hand to seems to turn into gold? You prosper in your going out, you prosper in your coming in. Because why? You change your thinking. You learn to depend on your higher self. You learn to depend on God, which is the power within. Just as a child depend upon its mother and its father for sustenance while living in that state of amnesia, where it can't even help itself. Until you become like a child, you will not be able to rule. That's why I say he that becomes like a child, he would lead in the kingdom. You would be the one who will lead in the path of discovery. When you discover your purpose and you operate in your field and be a service to humanity, you've been given a gift, you've been given a talent. The law of Goya says, get off of your ass. I'm saying to you, get up and bring value to humanity. As you lift your value, so you would expand, so you would grow. You want to become a billionaire, influence a billion lives. You want to become a millionaire, influence a million lives. You want to become a multi-millionaire, influence millions and millions of lives. Reach out. Use your talent. Use your gift. All of us have not been given the same gift. That is why we are not to be just imitators or conformers, being conformed to the world and the system of the world, which is basically the rat race, and competing and being in competition. But you are to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Only transformed by the renewing of your mind. You do not have to be in competition with anyone. You do not have to stab anyone in the back. There's so many people on jobs stabbing one another in the back. I used to hate that. So I always wanted us to get away and be by myself and do my own thing. People reporting you to this boss, and you know a boss is like a diaper always on your ass and usually full of shit. And I couldn't deal with that. And there are many of you might be listening to me and you're saying what he's saying is the truth. I've had those kind of experience and I want to move on now. I want to expand. I want to live a full life. And let me say this to you. You're never too old to discover the truth. You're never too old to discover your higher self. You're never too old to move into your purpose. So my brother and my sister, it's never too late. Let me read verses 15 for you and then come to a close here. He says, and Solomon awoke. And Solomon awoke. My brother and my sisters, this message is to awake you. That you will wake up from the dream of life. And behold, it was a dream. When you come to understand that Solomon means light in man, the sun in man, you would awake from the dream of life because you seek first to know thyself. You seek first the kingdom. And as I would have said before, that is what I was doing from a little boy growing up, not knowing exactly what I was doing. My ambition wasn't to have a mansion, I have certain amount of money, or to have certain job and all of these things from a young age, with tears in my eyes, beating my chest. I asked, who am I? Who am I? And who is God? And why am I here? And I set out to discover that truth. And I went into secular Christianity consciously as a seeker. And I had this same kind of zeal, this same kind of fire when I was in secular Christianity. Now I know better. I will not keep quiet. I will not hold my peace. I remember quite vividly when I used to work in the post office as a postman. One time they called me in the office and they tell me that people are complaining about me when I come to deliver mail. I always want to preach to them. I always want to minister to them. And if I can't desist from doing that, because I have to realize that I'm on the job, that they will fire me. Well, I told them that I'm already fired because I'm not going to stop and I will never stop. But it was, all of that was preparing me for this also. And I never did stop. And I always said to them, no man could hire me and no man could fire me because no man could put me to sleep and no man could wake me up. All of us depend on the same power to go to bed and to awake. And I didn't even get conscious as yet. But all my life I was being prepared for this, my brother and my sister. And I'm so joyful. I'm feeling so glad that I can bring this message of self-realization to humanity. Okay? Let me just read on here. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream, and he came to Jerusalem. Here, Jerusalem means the place of peace, joy, and happiness. It is when you awake out of the dream of life, you come to yourself and you realize who you are. You realize why you are here. You realize you have a purpose in this life and you must fulfill that purpose. That's when you will really come to true Jerusalem. And stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. The ark of the covenant. You are in covenant with your higher self. That's when you come to the place of unity. When you discover the covenant. When you discover that God and man are one. When you discover that you are the expression of God and you have to go within to communicate with the God that is within. And you understand that this body is the visible soul and the soul is the invisible body. And you're not afraid to disclose your true identity. Though some would say blasphemy, you'll be able to say, I and the Father are one. And offer peace offering, you see? It says here now, when he come now, when Solomon awoke out of the dream, and he came to Jerusalem, which is, I said to you, is a place of peace, joy, and happiness, and stood before the ark, understand the ark of the covenant, the oneness, its true divinity. He offered up what? Burnt offerings. Why? Because you burn out all the negativity, the fire of self-realization, cleanse you. You come to a place of purification and made a feast to all his servants. His servants, your thoughts, your mind. You're now feasting on the right things. You're now bringing value to humanity. You're now expanding your consciousness. And it is reaching out to all of humanity. You're sending it into all the world. And that is why it says that the fame of Solomon went throughout all the world. Speaking about you, my brothers and my sisters, I am saying to you, greatness is in you. I am saying to you, it is time for you to stand up. It is time for you to be brave. It is time for you to be strong. If you're in a job that is making you uncomfortable, making you unhappy, you're not happy with the job, do not be afraid. You won't be starved. Don't be afraid because you have bills to pay. Don't be afraid because you have your children to look after. Make that move, bold move. I've done it with more than one job, not knowing where I'm going. And I've seen the result because I believe in myself and I trust my intuition. Many times when I was in the post office, the people in the post office who were so afraid to lose their job, you know, they used to say, they believe I have something to fall back on. When I had nothing to fall back on, more than all I knew is that I was trusting my intuition and believing in myself. And I was never afraid to lose any job. Because I know that I didn't come here to suffer. I didn't come here to live a life of mediocrity. And I'm not going to ever settle for mediocrity. And I see some of my co-workers, they're still working at the post office and becoming old in the post office, having the same one position and not expanding. Stagnation is limitation, and anything that stagnates, it stings, it smells, it gives a bad odor. And you don't want to give that. So don't worry, don't fret. There's some people, they're afraid to speak because someone might say, that is not proper English. You're not speaking in the right way. You're not speaking proper English. You're not pronouncing your words right. You don't give a damn about people who think like that. Act in your purpose. It is better to say that I is rich than to say I am poor. It is better to say I is rich than to say I am broke. So my brother, my sisters, my encouragement to you right now is to believe in yourself more than you have ever believed in yourself. Believe in this message of self-realization that I'm bringing to you and pointing you to look inwardly. Believe that you can have whatever you desire. Believe that you are the richest man right now. Believe that you are the wisest man right now, because the wisest message is coming to you. The richest message right now is coming to you. The science of getting rich is coming to you. Not from the book of Wattles right now, but from someone showing you the same thing right in the Bible, and bringing the real book to you, telling you that the Bible is your life written in a book, written on papers, and the written word must become the living word. You are the living word. Live that life. Live that rich life. Live it. Expand your consciousness, my brothers and my sisters. So with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, I think I would have said enough. I've given you that mouthful. I want to thank you very much. And I'm saying to you, if it's the first time that you listen to me, and what I'm saying, if it's been resonating with you, it's helping you, and you're saying to yourself, what this man is saying is really touching me, reaching out to me, making sense to me, I'm saying it is for you. For it is only when the student is ready that the teacher would appear. And that's why I'm saying to you, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. But let me end here by saying that this message I bring to you, as usual, it is the single eye, yes, the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, yes, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And I'm saying to you, the symbol of the single eye, with the eye over the pyramid and the US dollar, that many says to you it's an evil symbol. I'm saying to you, it's a symbol of the all-seeing eye of God in you, who is your imagination. For you would have an awakened imagination when you awake within yourself, as I would have experienced after the mighty shaking, the great earthquake. And when you awake within yourself, you would awake like a fiery being. You would hear the unearthly wind, and you would ascend and high and exit this tomb and realize that mind is actually over matter. You come to realize that spirit creates matter, and all matter comes from spirit. And for my brothers and my sisters, that is the reason why I always say to you that when you have the experience, you will understand that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. You'll understand truly that you are the real Solomon, the Sun Man. Okay, and that is why I always give you the symbol of the single eye, saying to you that when you have the experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light, and without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told that the Lord thy God is a sun, as in a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And the sun has never withhold any good thing from you. As a matter of fact, the sun is what powers all of humanity. And also you're told in Malachi 1:2 that the sun of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And we have seen that same thing right there in this whole story of Solomon, the sun in man. And he says also that when the sun arise in you, it will arise in you with healing in his wings. And that's why I always bring healing to you, saying to you, don't let no one tell you that a S-O-N of 2,000 years ago is the light of the world, because no S-O-N could ever exist unless there first be the S-U-N. That's why, my brother and my sisters, the healing I'm bringing to you is saying to you to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, to achieve your every desire and prove that the science of getting rich is the story of your life, whereby you discover your real identity to be your divinity, because you have learned to look inwardly and discover that it is your own thought that is creating your reality. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.